follow that. There's no penis jokes in my set. Anyway, the first thing you need to know about me is that I'm a twin. Before you ask, we're not identical, and I'm glad. She's actually here tonight. She's not ugly or anything. I just like having my own face. But usually when I first meet people, I don't actually tell them that I'm a twin. She'll vouch for this, but when people find out that you're a twin, they assume that you're super close, and that's just not the relationship that we have. We argue a lot, and we've always argued. I was actually born 8 weeks early because we kept getting into arguments in the womb. I can't prove this, but I actually don't think those were kicks my mum felt when she was pregnant with me, but they were just punches ricocheting off the uterus. In the end, I'd had enough, I couldn't take it anymore, and I tunneled out of there like a North Korean defector. Recently though, we've been getting on a bit better, we started living together. Strongest matchmaker out there, the London housing market. But we've got things in common after all. Mum, Dad, we're both Jewish. Thank you everyone who laughed at that. Let's see. Neither of us can reach the top shelf in the kitchen, and we enjoy debating who's going to die first. My money's on her. Our relationship, though, it might be veering towards the toxic end. Last week, she got really upset that I said that I didn't want to be buried with her when we died. And it's different. What do you respond to that? I was offended that she was offended. I wanted to comfort her. Hinge is bad, but it's not that bad. But in the end, I saw where she was coming from. They do call them twin plots, after all. Thank you. It's a vinker. I'm glad you enjoyed. We both like movies, but we don't like the same movies. If she's upset, she'll come home, kick off her shoes, and put on Bridget Jones. Not me. If I'm upset, I've had a bad day, I'll come home, kick off my shoes, and put on Schindler's List. I'm Jewish, I can say that. Try it. You're depressed watching it, but afterwards you're just going around with a whole new appreciation for life. Just thinking, my life's bad, but at least that's not happening to me. But it's hard being called Juliet. That's right, I'm just taking a hard veer away from the Holocaust. But people always say how nice your name is, but I always feel like if you're thinking of naming your child after a famous person, you should be visited in the middle of the night by the NSPCC. Picture the scene, you're trying to get ready to bed and then knock at the door, there they are, like a bureaucratic tooth fairy. I can hear what you're going to say. You're going to say, Juliet, that's a massive waste of resources. Rachel Reeves has told us that we're in fiscally tight times. And I'd say, clearly, you never attended school, named after a child bride who killed herself over miscommunication. Particularly when I went to school, I was single the whole time. So I was about as far away from a child bride as you could get. But usually, the kids would just tease me. So, what do you think they would say to me? You don't know? Clearly never bullied any Juliets in your time, sir. Very good. Usually they would just say, where's Romeo? And, I don't know where he is. I'm single. But one day, when I was about 13, after an English class, they took it too far, and I was actually chased down the hall by about 5 of my classmates singing Taylor Swift Love Story. And to this day, I cannot hear that song without getting under the table and shaking like a Vietnam veteran. I remember I went home, I waited for my mum to get back from work. I was so upset. And when she was there, when she came home, I said to her, Mum, why did you name me this? I keep getting bullied. Why did you call me Juliet? And she turned round, which was weird because before she'd been looking at me. And she said, Juliet, we were going to name you after Golda Meir, but we thought it was too Jewish. and you'd get bullied. Who is laughing at that? But anyway, if you don't know who Golda Meir is, she was the first female Israeli Prime Minister. If you can't picture her, just picture Danny Dyer wearing a dress, wearing orthopedic shoes, and if he hated Palestinians. But you know, we could dwell on this. We could dwell on anti-Semitism and how it remains prevalent in society. We could dwell on the intersection between Judaism and Zionism. But we don't have time for that, because I'm coming to the end of the set. Instead, let's just dwell on how dumb that was by my parents. They named me Juliet. Juliet.